Fala pessoal, bom dia, bom dia. Charles Oliveira is going to be fighting Rafael Fiziev on October 11th in UFC Fight Night Rio de Janeiro. There's a lot of concerns here, rightfully so, because not that long ago, Charles Oliveira got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. It was brutal. I wanted to cope and call it AI and deepfake. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I saw this happen live at 12 a.m. I forgot the date of UFC 317. But anyways, I did see this live, and yeah, it was a very sad moment in during the channel. All right. That being said, though, Rafael Fiziev is an approachable matchup. All right. I have a lot of questions regarding this matchup. However, like, why is Rafael Fiziev getting this matchup? Like, I understand he beat Ignacio Bahamondes. I think it's not a controversial take to say that there's a enormous gap between Ignacio Bahamondes and Charles Oliveira. Ignacio Bahamondes is unranked for a reason right now, and Rafael Fiziev, like, he literally lost to Gaethje not that long ago. All right, like, even though Gaethje's like ranked number 3 right now, Charles Oliveira's ranked number 4. I don't know why. Is it hard to say that Charles Oliveira is much better than Justin Gaethje? Like, we literally saw them fight, and Charles Oliveira destroyed him in the first round. So I don't know why Rafa Fiziev is getting this jump up in competition once more. Like, I understand if Rafa Fiziev, this was like the first or second time. This is now the third time Rafa Fiziev is getting a jump up in competition based on like either short notice or just like one win in the UFC. And I think that's why Charles Oliveira's approaching this matchup, because if you look at Rafael Fiziev's game, he's a very technical Muay Thai fighter, which should be scary on paper because Charles Oliveira just got knocked out cold. Rafael Fiziev does not have any power in his shots. Now, he looks like someone who can knock out anybody with one punch, and he'll probably knock me out with one or two punches. That being said, at the UFC level, when's the last time Rafael Fiziev knocked anybody out? Other than Renato Moicano, which Renato Moicano has always been known for a dodgy chin, I don't see Rafa Fiziev like dropping anybody, all right? Let alone looking for a finish. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira, however, like, he had a questionable chin at times, and now that he's coming off a flatline KO, however, if now's the time for Rafa Fiziev to get a KO, it's probably the best time. But I just don't see it. I don't see Rafa Fiziev being able to select the shots like Ilia Topuria. Rafael Fiziev's boxing, like, it's good, but it's not like as measured like in Ilia Topuria. Like, there's a huge gap in skill in terms of pure boxing. Rafael Fiziev is more known for his kicks and just distance managing using the kicks. So I can see Charles Oliveira approaching this matchup. I don't know. I think it'd be very good for him. All right. It's a very approachable matchup, but if he loses this, I think he's gonna look to retire. So, although I can say that Charles Oliveira has the more well-rounded tool set, I can say that Charles Oliveira has proven himself more against the top level of the lightweight division, and I can say how Charles Oliveira on paper is just a better fighter in general. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that he's he's fighting in Rio de Janeiro. Like, he asked the UFC to fight in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Like, this wasn't really a focal point in Charles Oliveira's career because he was always thinking about getting back to the title and like just getting on every single pay-per-view. So he'll typically fight in the US or in Abu Dhabi. But now that he got flatlined out cold, he's probably gonna need like 2 or 3 more wins at least to get back to the title. I don't know if he's even thinking to get back to the title because I don't know. He just asked the UFC to fight in Rio de Janeiro, and typically when fighters ask to fight in certain places, you're thinking that they're probably gonna retire if they lose. right? And I'm not saying that's gonna happen for certain, but that's what typically happens. And fighters who typically go in with the mindset that they're gonna retire, they don't do very well. It rarely ends in a happy ending. The last happy ending I can account for was Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price, but Nico Price wasn't that very good, whereas Rafael Fiziev is actually very good. So I'm very concerned with Charles Oliveira's mindset coming into this, especially because he got flatlined cold by Ilia Topuria. How is he going to engage in the pocket? Like, even though Rafael Fiziev doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as Ilia Topuria, how is he going to look when they're trading shots? All right. I feel like fighters who've been knocked out, they don't trade shots the same way as before they got knocked out, like out cold. So I'm very concerned for Charles Oliveira. I'm going to be rooting for him, and maybe when the time comes, I'll make a more detailed analysis during like my future prediction videos. But I just have a suspicious feeling that Rafael Fiziev's gonna win. Right? Like everything, both by like timing wise, and also like Charles Oliveira's mindset, just like fighting in Brazil for the Brazilian fans. It's just not a great look for us Charles Oliveira fans. You know, the champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira, but I'm not too sure if Charles Oliveira is coming in with the championship mindset like he used to always do. All right, now up next, we're going to be talking about Bruno Brazil versus Hyun Sung Park. Now, he just lost to Tatsuro Taira not that long ago. All right, but I like this. I really like this for Hyun Sung Park. This is a very approachable matchup. All right. I understand that he got smoked by Tatsuro Taira. All right. I think Tatsuro Taira is elite level. I think he's like top three in the flyweight division right now. All right. And I understand that I picked him, Hyun Sung Park, to beat Tatsuro Taira. That was more cope. All right. I feel like I made a video about this earlier. And that being said, though, what is Bruno Brazil really gonna do against Hyun Sung Park? Like, is he really gonna grapple with Hyun Sung Park? When has Bruno Silva? I'm sorry. When has Bruno Silva ever grappled with anybody? Bruno Silva, like, I understand he's good, but he takes a lot of damage, and he always looks to try to like build back into a fight after getting the shit beat out of him. Right? You're not really gonna do that against the first round finisher like Hyun Sung Park. And maybe you could. Maybe Hyun Sung Park doesn't have the finishing capabilities of a top dog level flyweight, but Hyun Sung Park, I think, is the much more well-rounded fighter. Like, I understand that Bruno Silva beat Cody Durden. Cody Durden don't have the submission game of Hyun Sung Park. And on the feet, Cody Durden is kind of questionable at times defensively. So I think Hyun Sung Park, he's gonna do very well in this matchup. Plus, you gotta consider the fact that Bruno Silva literally got the shit beat out of him by Joshua Van. And what, he's now like 35, 36 years old. And plus, even though Hyun Sung Park lost, he's still young in his career. And he's going to be able to just mix up the martial arts better than Bruno Silva. Like, I'm not expecting Bruno Silva to come out with like anything new at the age of 35 or 36 in the flyweight division. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hyun Sung Park. I'll give you guys a more detailed analysis when the time comes because it's not gonna happen until like October 19th, which is that the Vancouver card? Yeah, I don't really know what event this is on, but I'm glad that Hyunsung Park is coming back to fight right away. Like, even though Tatsuro Taira just face cranked him into a round two submission and dominated him throughout the whole fight, I think this is a much more approachable matchup. And now that Hyunsung Park has a full training cap, I believe that he's gonna be ranked by the end of this year. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below how concerned you are for Charles Oliveira because although he is the much better fighter on paper, a lot of circumstances point towards Rafael Fiziev's favor. All right. I don't want to pick Rafael Fiziev in this situation, but I feel for some reason that everything building up, whether like be mentally or like just timing wise, because he got flatlined like 1.5 months ago, it's just not going to work out for Charles Oliveira this time. But I will be rooting for him regardless. I'll be making more accurate predictions for both of these fights when the time comes. But other than that, though, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.